What's up guys, Element here back with another video. This week we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Chapter 3, The Sin. We of course start off with Mando and Baby Yoda chilling in his ship, and I can't help but reiterate how obsessed I am with Baby Yoda, and it just brings a smile to my face every time it's on screen. From its sheer cuteness to its unrelenting curiosity and fascination with whatever is happening around it. So Mando brings Baby Yoda back to the client, which immediately makes me sour, and it has me thinking, wait, is that it? Is Baby Yoda just a subplot that we're never going to see again and we're just left to speculate what the client's going to do with it? But of course, as we see later in the episode, I have nothing to worry about. We get to see more Mandalorian lore as Mando brings back a crap ton of steel, Beskar steel, to the covert, and we get to see that there's just a bunch of Mandalorians down there. And we also learn that they only go above ground one at a time as to not expose themselves. And the Heavy calls out Mando for working with the remnants of the Empire, citing their plight from the Purge. Mando immediately throws down with the Heavy, and we even get to see some awesome vibro knife action. The Smith goes on to forge Mando a new armor set, a new cuirass, a new pauldron, and even some whistling birds. And it's at this point where I'm thinking to myself, this reminds me of a single player RPG game where Mando goes off on a mission, he comes back with the objective, he gets handsomely rewarded, and he brings it to an armor smith and just comes out of it with a shiny new armor set. By the way, since they call him Mando, does that make him Mando Fett? So as I was saying earlier about Baby Yoda, I had nothing to worry about. As we see Mando return to his ship, and we see a slow buildup of compassion as he reaches for one of his ship instruments, a joystick or whatever, and he immediately remembers how Baby Yoda was playing with that, and his empathy shoots through the roof and he sets off on a mission to get back Baby Yoda. I'll always ask, why do people think that stormtroopers is their best option for a security system? As Mando quickly dispatches this security system of stormtroopers, he gets back Baby Yoda, and we also get to see a bit of compassion from the Kaminoan scientist that is looking after the baby. We've got some conversation between the client and this scientist as the scientist shows a genuine concern for the safety of Baby Yoda, and I feel like that's not going to be the last we see of him in this series. At this point, Mando finds himself in a standoff with the guild and is surrounded by all of the bounty hunters who would have collected on the package he is now carrying. Quick little shout out to Dathomir Zabrak, RIP Darth Maul, if you've seen Rebels. At this point, Mando is at his end. He is surrounded and he has nowhere to go. His ride is broken, but the Mandalorian covert show up and save him. This immediately gives me goosebumps and gets my blood pumping. These scenes always get me. As I was saying earlier, the covert only goes above ground one at a time as to not expose themselves, but it looks like they made an exception here to show their disdain for the Empire, knowing that Mando did this contract or this puck for the Empire. It probably, spurred them into action to save him and save this child. Anyways, Baby Yoda is saved. Yes. Now we get this great shot of a Mandalorian flying alongside Mando's ship, giving him a salute. I can't tell you how excited I am for each episode thus far. I think what they're doing with this series is spectacular. It's just amazing to me how much subplot narrative, main plot narrative, backstory, and action they're fitting into these short episodes. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too thrilled about The Mandalorian or excited about it when it was announced, and I was only looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And that's because as a fan, I was typically more interested in the Jedi-Sith conflict and the mythology around the Force, but this show has surprised me in all sorts of ways, and it makes me excited and interested in watching a plot or a story being told from a lens that has nothing to do with the Force, although Baby Yoda is part of the Force. But you know, Mando's behavior and Mando's character himself is interesting to me, and that is a surprise nonetheless. The show by itself, even without Baby Yoda, the action, the plot, the lore behind the Mandalorians, you know, it's exceeding all of my expectations, and it goes on a short list of shows that I am excited to see each week, and it goes on the list with Obi-Wan Kenobi as well, even though I've not seen the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So now we have to figure out the larger role of Baby Yoda and how the narrative moves forward from here. Does Baby Yoda set things up for Obi-Wan Kenobi? Will we see him in future trilogies or future titles? We've got Rey, who may eventually get to see some expanded coverage, the Force-sensitive boy from The Last Jedi, and now Baby Yoda. I think what is so fascinating about this show and what they've done with Clone Wars and Rebels and all of the other shows is open up avenues of storytelling that didn't exist before. Sure, there were opportunities to tell the stories of some rank and file resistance members against the remnants of the Empire, but this is a legit narrative that has some weight in the larger universe. As we get further into The Mandalorian and in the future Obi-Wan Kenobi, we'll start to see something happening in live action that we've only historically come to see from the comics. An expanded universe that is now canonized, and we get to see all of these stories come to life. Now, whether or not they're creating a new expanded universe or canonizing some of the EU that's already present in the comics that we've had in the past, that remains to be seen. As for how it all fits together, we'll just have to continue following this journey of the Mandalorian RPG. But that's it. That's my recap and review of Chapter 3, The Sin. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. I will be covering the rest of the series. I will be covering Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I will be covering anything Star Wars related or Marvel related coming out of Disney+. It's gonna be a great time to be living. If you asked me if I could live in any other time, I probably would say no, not really, because we're inundated with all of this fantastic material. But in any case, until the Rise of Skywalker and until the next video, may the Force be with you always.